Many of you have asked me for some tips and hacks for the holiday season to be able to enjoy meals with family and friends despite having hiatal hernia syndrome. For those of you who are not familiar with this, the symptoms, the major symptoms, there are many, but the major ones are having acid reflux or GERD, trouble swallowing, bloating and gas, sometimes constipation, shortness of breath, and heart palpitations are a major part of this syndrome. And those of you who are suffering know who you are, and it's pretty miserable. And it's almost Thanksgiving, it's the holiday season, and we want to be able to spend time with family and friends and enjoy a meal and not be completely miserable. So I have some tips for you, and the first one is real food. So I really, and this is really best advice for everyone regardless, but you know, a real sweet potato, a real piece of turkey, a real green bean, this is what I want you to focus on versus very highly processed foods. The marshmallows on top of the sweet potato would be a perfect example of something to try to avoid. But try to stick with the real food as much as you can, even if it means, you know, it's a buffet and you bring some things that you know you do well with because you prepared them. It's okay. I mean, it really is just about having fun with friends and family, and nobody has to get too concerned with whether you brought some food for yourself that you do better with. But you will feel a lot better if you eat real unprocessed food as much as you possibly can. The next one is something called box breathing. Now, what this does is it can move you from what's called your sympathetic fight or flight part of your nervous system into your parasympathetic, which is your rest, digest, relax part of your nervous system, which is the part of your nervous system you do want to engage before you start eating. You don't want to be in this fight or flight because you're not going to be able to digest very well. And also for those with hiatal hernia syndrome, they can feel a sense of anxiety because their diaphragm is not moving very well, which puts them into the fight or flight part of their nervous system. So let's just go with the I want to eat, so I want to be in the parasympathetic rest digest part, okay? So box breathing is where you're sort of building a box with your breath. So you want to inhale for a count of 4 to 6, depending on what you can do. Hold for at least that long. Exhale slowly through pursed lips for the same length of time. And then hold your breath out before you breathe in again. So let's do one together. Inhale through the nose for a count of 4. Hold for about 6. Slowly exhale through the pursed lips, and then hold it out before we build the box again with our breathing in through the nose, okay? Now, if you've had hiatal hernia syndrome for a while, if you're somebody who tends to breathe with your shoulders and you don't breathe with your diaphragm, you're not going to be great at this when you first started. That's okay. We just want to make subtle improvements, and you will feel, you can do a series of 5 of these. Just really take your time though, and it's amazing how much more just like, oh, I feel more relaxed. It really is a very effective, easy tool. Don't beat yourself up if it's hard for you to do, because you might be a very shallow breather. So even if you can do a count of 3 and then hold for 4, you know, just build your box. You can get your box bigger as you get used to this, but it's very, very effective for getting you ready to eat. It's also really effective if you're feeling anxiety. So one of the other issues with hiatal hernia syndrome is because the stomach gets compressed and it pushes up, it pushes into your diaphragm, and now your diaphragm can't move freely. And so what happens is your body goes into fight or flight because it's sensing that there's not quite enough oxygen, okay? So that's what we want to do the box breathing for as well. If you're just feeling really anxious, you can do the box breathing, and even if you can't get a very deep breath, just do it repetitively. It will make a difference for you. Everybody's different. So try that. Next is eating slowly. Chew, 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 chew. Chew your food very, very well. Take your bite. Chew, chew, chew. Swallow. Put down your fork. Have a little conversation, and then take your next bite. We as Americans tend to eat very, very quickly. I'm half Italian. Italians are wonderful, at least the Italians in Italy, for having slow 3-hour meals, which, you know, the type A in me kind of just cringes at that, but it's very healthy. So if you can try to eat slowly, chew very well, that will really help how you do as well with your digestion and with how you get through the meal without being miserable. Don't overeat. Now, if you're chewing really well and you're eating slowly, you're much less likely to overeat than if you're eating very fast. But try to listen to that signal from your brain that says, okay, I'm getting full. Listen to it. Don't go past that, because then you can be really miserable with hiatal hernia syndrome. Between your meals, I want you to hydrate, because I don't want you to drink with your meals, because that tends to dilute the enzymes that we need to break down our food. But between meals, hydrate very, very well. That helps with detoxification. If you've been drinking any alcohol, it helps hydrate and get rid of those toxins as well. So just try to make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day between your meals. When you're done eating your meal, take a little stroll. This is not, a walk, walk, walk. This is a stroll, but what it does is moving the body helps you to digest better. You're also vertical, of course, walking, and that motion helps hold the stomach down versus eating a big meal and then bending over on the couch and being basically semi-reclining is a terrible posture. That does not help with digestion. So try the stroll, even if you're not in the mood, even if it's cold out, just bundle up. You're just strolling, but give yourself that minimum of 20 minutes. You will feel better after that. So what was the last, excuse me, the last thing I wanted to tell you was, if you have heart palpitations, now the caveat is, I'm assuming you've already been to a cardiologist, your heart has been checked, and you've been told you're fine. You have heart palpitations due to hiatal hernia syndrome, meaning the stomach's compressed, pushes up on the diaphragm. Both of them elevate enough to get in the way of the heart, such the heart says, basically, get out of my spot. Okay, that's what's happening. And if you're having heart palpitations, see if there's a position. Sometimes people say bending off to the left or the right. The heart and stomach are in a line on the left, but despite that, some people bend to the left or bend to the right. They feel better, or really stretching, really opening that area up between the organs. So see if positionally you feel better. Another thing is, if you've awakened in the middle of the night with heart palpitations, that little walk around, like the stroll, not going outside, but just walking around the house, seeing if that motion doesn't settle down your heart as well. So these are my tips for the holidays. I hope you find them helpful. Let me know which ones work for you, and have a beautiful holiday season.